Good evening. If I could ask everyone to take a seat, please. I'll just give everyone a minute. Well, the room looks pretty fantastic from up here, and it is wonderful to see everyone tonight. My name is Maureen Rooney. I am the president of AAF Pittsburgh, and we have some of, thank you. We have some of Pittsburgh's finest in this room, and I am not just talking about the advertising community. We have Jeff Frisella as our MC tonight, so if you can give him a big round of applause. Thank you, Jeff. And I'm feeling pretty lucky to be here right now. The inductees tonight are positively the best of the best. They have each helped to encourage, grow, and support the Pittsburgh advertising community. They have defined what it means to be a leader and are true examples of professionalism. To many of us, they are colleagues, friends, role models, and mentors. For me personally, I have looked up to these folks my entire career, and they are an inspiration for what is possible in advertising. So it really is a true honor for me to be standing here tonight celebrating all of their accomplishments. So cheers to the inductees. We also have a room full of amazing sponsors tonight. So I'd like to just take a minute to thank them. Our diamond sponsors are Brunner and Edgar Snyder and Associates. Our gold sponsor is Garrison Hughes. Our silver sponsors are Nine Rooftops, Camelot Communications Group, Covalent, R.R. Donnelly, and Walsh Photography. And our bronze sponsors are Fifth Influence, Lamar, Raft Printing, and Untitled Content. So thank you very much. And of course, everyone knows this evening can't happen with a fantastic group of people to put this together. So I'd like to thank our Hall of Fame committee, who is chaired by Gordon Robertson, who's also a past AAF president. So thank you so much. They have volunteered their time and their talents to make this evening so special. And I know it's been a while since we've all been together, so thank you again for putting this together. And finally, I think we all know that this evening would not be possible without our executive director, Evie DeSarno. Evie strategizes, plans, and executes to make sure that nothing is missed. She keeps us all in line and focused to the end goal. We are truly lucky to have her. And if I don't stop talking soon, she might cut me off. So please, I ask you to enjoy your salads. Dinner will be served shortly, and we'll get started with our program. Thank you again.
One, two, three into the four. Snoop Doggy Dogg and Dr. Dre is at the door, ready to make an entrance, so back on up.
I have some things to say, but whatever I have to say is not as important as cake. So please enjoy your cake. I'm not rushing you. Enjoy the rest of your dinner. I want to introduce myself. I'm Gordon Robertson. I'm the chair tonight of Thanking People. And I want to start with thanking you. Thank you for supporting the American Advertising Federation and the Pittsburgh ad community with your presence and your support and your applause. And I'm so glad that you're all here tonight. It's been 5 years since we've had a Hall of Fame. It's the last time we were really able to gather together, and we've lost a lot of time. And much of that is obviously due to circumstances beyond our control, but we've also lost other things. We've lost people that we care about. people who've been honored at this gala in the past. We have lost people who've led agencies. We've lost creative legends, past clients, mentors, friends, and colleagues. Frankly, more names than I could possibly get through tonight and keep my composure. So I'd like you to join me in offering a moment of silent reflection for those who are no longer with us. Thank you. We started planning this Hall of Fame in fall of 2019. And the committee got together and they said, 2020, let's do it. You have anything on your calendar? Nope, we should be able to pull this off. It'd be easy, it'd be great. What could possibly happen? Nearly 3 years later, I can say our committee is all still together. They hung with us for 3 years and plenty of Zoom calls, and I want to thank them. Dax Parisi, Rob Diener, Meade Johnson, Adam Seco, Mike Junta, Bill Garrison, and Jeremy Musset. I'd also like to thank Jeremy's team at NFM Demon for leading the creative work on the event, as well as the folks at Garrison Hughes, who designed the program. Also, thank you, Frank Walsh, photographer, for photographing our inductees, and R.R. Donnelly for providing the printing. One of the truly unique things about the Pittsburgh advertising community is that we all work together really well. And being someone who's spent most of my career outside of this market, I can tell you that doesn't happen everywhere else. And in Pittsburgh, it happens every day. We're also indebted to his sponsors for tonight's gala, Diamond sponsors Bruner and Edgar Snyder and Associates, Gold sponsor Garrison Hughes, our silver sponsors Covalent, Walsh Photography, Nine Rooftops, R. Donnelly, and Camelot Communications Group, and our bronze sponsors, Untitled Content, Raft Printing, Fifth Influence, and Lamar. Thank you. And I would be remiss, there's one other person, I could thank others, and I'm not going to, but I want to thank one person in particular also, and that is our board member, Matt Hildebrand, who produces and puts together this show and runs it so incredibly well. So thank you, my friend. So now, as my wife Christine says, after I've had 2 glasses of wine, it's time to hand the keys off to someone else. And I'd like to introduce the MC for the evening, Mr. Jeff Versilla. Now, you know his face, you know his name, but I can lay odds that you do not know how to spell his name. I've been working on it, and I think I got it. It's J-E-F, 2 F's, F. Jeff has been a fixture in Pittsburgh broadcasting with over 30 years experience in radio and TV, and you can see him forecasting weather weekdays on Pittsburgh's Action News 4 at noon and 4. Jeff was born and raised in the Sewickley area. He's a graduate of Quigley High School as well as Allegheny College. And Jeff picked up a secondary degree in broadcast meteorology from Mississippi State University. He also should feel right at home tonight because he's a Hall of Famer himself. In 2008, Jeff was inducted into the Meteorologist Hall of Fame, which I'm sure was just a rip-roaring event. Jeff and his wife, Shelley, are the proud parents of 2 teenage sons. So when he's not working, he is traveling throughout the area on various hockey rinks. What did I say? What did I do? The weather joke always kills. He's at hockey games, baseball fields, practices. So I don't want to step in Jeff's lane, but I would like to give a forecast for this evening. I forecast a loud round of applause coming in from the west, followed by a period of witty banter with intermittent bursts of laughter and cheers for our MC, Mr. Jeff Versilla.
We're going to have to do something about this light because I ain't going to be able to see shit. I can tell you that right now. I can't swear on TV, so I can swear here. It feels good. One thing that Gordon forgot to mention in his wonderful introduction, thank you, Gordon, by the way, is that I used to be addicted to the hokey pokey. Then I turned myself around. That was a joke. Boy, was there silence when I said addicted. Woo! That's what you're going to get from me tonight, by the way. You're going to get a healthy serving of some really bad dad jokes. Because I'm coloring within the lines tonight because I was already fired once in this city and I ain't going to be fired again. The question, this is what I thought about. Wonderful people here. Some people I know, many I do not, but some of you may be asking yourself the question, why in the hell is the meteorologist the MC tonight? I asked myself that very same question. And I went through a checklist of things that perhaps would have qualified me or maybe not. The first thing that came to mind was my devastatingly good looks and my charm and wit. I'm here to tell you that my best days are behind me, so that's not the case. And by the way, I may not be as good looking as I used to be, but thank you. But when I go in the shower and I get undressed, I turn the shower on. That's what you're getting. So it's not my good looks. I'm obviously not here for the jokes. Larry Richard probably wasn't available. He MCs everything in this city. One of the reasons I am here, though, now I need sunglasses. One of the reasons I am here, though, is I have a friend that's being honored tonight, and she made a phone call on my behalf. Trish Parkhill, thank you very much. I appreciate it. And Trish also knows that if I wouldn't be here, I'd be sitting in a parking lot outside of a dingy hockey rink watching Cobra Kai on Netflix, so I'm more than happy to be here tonight. As Gordon alluded to very quickly, I am a Hall of Famer myself. There is such a thing called the Meteorologist Hall of Fame. It's located in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania. And I was the proud inductee the second year after they started the Meteorologist Hall of Fame. Joel Myers of AccuWeather, and then me. And then people like Jim Cantori came later. But the Hall of Fame is not all it's cracked up to be in Punxsutawney, let me tell you. There was no jacket ceremony. I didn't get a chroma key colored green jacket. All I got was a kiss from my friend Phil, which was followed by a rabies cycle. So that was about the end of it. My history in this city in broadcasting and such goes back many years, as you heard. Matter of fact, one of the people that probably had at least a somewhat small role in getting me on the right track to where I am today is sitting in this audience tonight. Suzanne Mayer. I don't know if many of you know Suzanne. If you don't, shame on you. She's a lovely person. Suzanne, also a graduate of Allegheny College, and she hired me as her intern at Fox 53 when Suzanne was in charge of the promotions department. Now, Suzanne and I shared some experiences that year and that summer. I'm here to tell you that I've spent my time in a Leonardo costume and a Bart Simpson costume. And I'm also here to tell you when you wear those costumes to the Children's Festival on the north side, back then it was on the north side, 7-year-olds are about this high. The costume is perfectly placed for kids that have the Kung Fu death grip, and when you're Leonardo, they want to grab onto you. I'm pretty happy to tell you that I was still able to conceive children after a week at the Children's Festival as Leonardo. Thank you, Suzanne. Also, as part of my journey here tonight, in addition to my time at Fox 53 where I made wonderful friends, I have been, you want to talk about somebody that paid their dues. I have been the picnic patrol guy for KDK Radio. I've also been the promotions guy for Variety 96. If any of you have been around back in the day, there was a station called Variety 96. I drove the Variety van. Then I produced the morning show, and then I switched over into radio, where I took me to South Texas. And when I say South Texas, I mean South Texas. 6 miles from the border of Mexico is where I lived. I made my switch over to TV there, and the rest, as they say, is history, and I'm here with you today after 23 years at a station across town, and the past 2.5 years at a station in the other direction across town. I do know what a lot of you go through, by the way. I'm not just some TV guy. In the interim between my jobs, I was forced to fend for myself, which took me into an arena that I wasn't quite comfortable with. I launched a social media platform, if you will, in which I was seeking advertising. I was the salesman. I was also the talent, and I was the creative director. And I launched a brand called Whiteboard Weather. Some of you in advertising may know something as simple as a couple of words that mean something to people will really stick. And the brand did very well, I'm happy to say. Not well enough that I couldn't go back to work at WTAE because I had to do that. But anyway, I have been down many paths that got me here today, and I'm very honored to be here and to be your MC for the evening. And there are more jokes on the way. By the Edgar Snyder, what are you doing, buddy? Nice to see you. Do you know what they call an alligator with a law degree? A litigator. Hey, buddy, there's never a joke unless I got a punchline for you. All right. It's time to move on now to the reason why you're all here tonight, is to honor some very wonderful people and their professional accomplishments. The Patricia Martin Crystal Prism Award recognizes a member of the advertising community who has contributed outstanding service to furthering the profession through their craft, including the important role of passing their knowledge to the next generation of ad professionals through education. Tonight, we'll be inducting John Rice as the Patricia Martin Crystal Prism Award winner. Please join me in welcoming to the stage 2006 Hall of Achievement inductee Bill Garrison to introduce John.
You're a tough act to follow, Jeff. Thank you. It's really great to see everyone. What I've always said that I love about the Hall of Fame event is that you get a chance to reconnect with people that you haven't seen in a while. And I've had the privilege of reconnecting with John Rice over these last several weeks. And it reminded me how much fun we had working together. It also reminded me how bad my memory has gotten, because I just kept asking him, when did we do that? What client was that for? So it's been a long time. So thank you, John, for asking me to introduce you tonight, because this award truly represents everything you've done and continue to do in your career. John spoke volumes with his actions and his heart. He respected everyone's opinion, even mine, and he proved that you could be a nice guy and a great director in this business. Nobody was better than John at capturing a moment on film, back when they used actual film. The first time I worked with John was on a campaign for the Holy Family Institute. It's a place that helps kids and families through tough times. I was a junior copywriter at Ketchum, real excited to work on my first real production, and just a little nervous, not sure what to do. And what struck me was how easygoing John was. You know, he took the time to explain things, and he never made you feel unimportant. And here he is taking the time to help me revise my script right on the set. So thank you, John. That was very helpful at the time. John always had an intense work ethic. After he graduated from Penn State's film school in 1977, he got his first job working on a movie being shot in Pittsburgh. You may have heard of it, Dawn of the Dead. Now, John not only assisted the legendary director George Romero on camera, that's John right there, but he was also an actor in the film. Now, to his credit, John did not play a zombie because he was too smart for that. Instead, he played a police officer in charge of fighting the zombies. So maybe he wasn't that smart after all. John's role in the film ended abruptly when he decided to shoot himself. That's the same look he had when I told him that I was going to nominate him for this award. Fortunately, he survived, and he came to the realization that he would rather spend the rest of his career shooting other people. So after working on a few more features, he broke into the world of advertising in the early 80s as assistant cameraman for some big-name directors, including AdFed Hall of Famer Joe Pytka. So he then freelanced for several local production companies, Hartwick Przeworski, Gateway Studios, Bob Joyce and Company, before starting his own company, Lumiere Films, in 1992 with his great friend and producer, Amy Lamb. Thank you. We all miss you dearly, Amy. What followed was an amazing run of award-winning commercials where John directed campaigns with many of Pittsburgh's greatest athletes, icons, and companies. This next photo is me and John working on a pirate spot down at spring training in Florida. Now, I don't think this is in your program, but later I am being inducted into the Mullet Hall of Fame. Okay, Matt, you can take that off now. John understood the value of mentoring and sharing of knowledge. He's been a guest lecturer at several universities, founded an alumni group of film and video professionals at Penn State, and in 2005 became adjunct professor at Point Park University, where he attained the highest level in the teaching ranks, Master Teaching Artist. So I guess you're smart after all, John. He has directed nearly 30 documentaries, features, and short films that have been screened from Sundance to Singapore and garnered dozens of national and international film festival awards. One of his films is called Dumpster, which is where he and Evie will throw me unless I wrap this up quickly. So it is my honor to introduce my friend John Rice for this year's Patricia Martin Crystal Prism Award.
Thank you. Well, as it turns out, Kodachrome was taken away. around the time the first iPhone came out, and I think we're on number 14 now. On behalf of Paul Simon and myself, I'd like to say that I was very sad about that, but we move on. Thanks, Bill, for the introduction. I think you could have laid off the Pirates a little bit. It's kind of triggering right now, given the conditions, but it was really a wonderful introduction, and thank you so much. Thank you, Evie, and the AdFed board for the nomination. It's an honor to be here tonight and included among those who have been previously recognized with this award. I've had a couple of people who have known Patricia Martin tell me what a wonderful woman she was and what a pioneer she was in the industry, so it's indeed a great honor. Thank you. I've been really lucky in my career starting from the get-go. Bill noted the Dawn of the Dead. It happened really quite out of the blue. I started my college job search after college with a Yellow Pages list of production companies in Pittsburgh. And when I went into the Leighton Image, which was the production company there, I by surprise, totally ran into a high school classmate, Nick Mastandria, who was sitting behind the desk. And I kind of credit that chance meeting with my start in the business. The very first job that you get is often very important, and that was a whopper for me. At that time, I still didn't realize that filmmakers made commercials, but I was lucky to, in the decade that followed, to get a good education on the ins and outs of the production side by working for filmmakers who did. One of them is here tonight, Glenn Przborski, and I gotta thank you for all the generous time that you spent mentoring me. Thank you. Incredibly, in that luck and during that time, as Bill had mentioned, I got a job with Joe Pitko, a one and only, that was shooting at Ketchum Advertising when they were at 4 Gateway Center. And probably the luckiest thing that's ever happened to me is that's where I met my wife, Mona. And I don't remember much about the commercial, but I certainly remember that as one of the greatest times of my life, so, dear. Any contributions I may have made to the ad industry come from working side by side with my late partner, Amy Lamb. I really can't imagine that I would be standing here at this point in time if it wasn't for my good fortune of teaming up with Amy. She is indeed missed. When I made the move over to teaching, I really got a lot out of it. For me, the opportunity to see young people excited about filmmaking was infectious. And I feel that that experience improved me as a filmmaker. So thanks for this recognition. The work has been rewarding, and together with the many people who are talented, the many people that I've met along the way, it's given me some great memories. And like Kodachrome, the colors won't fade anytime soon. Thank you.
We're going to do that all again. Hang on. I forgot, yeah, John forgot some things. Here, stand here. It's your award.
Don't forget to take your award when you leave the stage. Just saying, that's why you're here. The American Advertising Federation's Silver Medal Award program was established in 1959 to recognize men and women who have made outstanding contributions to advertising and who have been active in furthering the industry's standards, creative excellence, and responsibility in areas of social concern. To introduce this year's AAF Silver Medal winner, Karen Love, let's welcome to the stage former AAF president and the 2012 Crystal Prism Award winner, Meade Johnson.
Oh my goodness, it's so wonderful to see you all. Isn't the energy lovely? Yes? Hooray. Okay. Most of you know Karen Love, so for you this will be a review. But for the rest of you, please let me officially introduce you to Karen Love. She has been a cornerstone of the Pittsburgh advertising community for her entire professional career. She has worked in many different facets of advertising, including several roles at a large Pittsburgh agency with many, many names. Right? Sounds familiar? As well as her own agency, The Ad Farm. She took all of that experience and plugged it right into her role as the first executive director of the Pittsburgh Advertising Federation, where she partnered with many of you in this room to help build the organization into what it is today. In her spare time, really, she also served on the regional executive board of the AAF. So that's what Karen has done, but let me tell you what she really is all about. Karen is a world-class event planner that made sure that everything ran perfectly and seamlessly at every AdFed event that she ever touched, and there were lots and lots of them. As a subset of the event planner role is a thankless but very important role of traffic cop. Karen also filled that role. Who can forget her robust announcements that the bar is closing right now at all the Addies? Karen is also a teacher that recruited and worked with students throughout her years in the AdFed. Our own Mo Rooney is one of those. She was an intern that worked with Karen there, and you made eye contact, Mo, and here you are the president, my friend. That's how Karen worked it. Karen was also instrumental in creating the AdFed Self-Sustaining Scholarship Fund in 1999. This scholarship still supports the education of students entering the advertising and marketing profession. Karen is a collaborator, unselfishly and tirelessly sharing information, her knowledge and experience, and all her advertising secrets with several generations of our community. She is a professional dedicated to serving the members of the Pittsburgh advertising community, and her deep and unflagging commitment was apparent in every conversation she had, every project she took on, and every single problem that she solved. Karen models the way. Her endless energy, warm enthusiasm, and get-it-done attitude are a shining example to all of us. She showed us, with grace, how it is done. Thank you, Karen. In closing, I'd like to read you a reference that Jerry Della Femina, yep, that Jerry Della Femina, wrote for Karen early in her career. To whom it may concern, regarding Karen Love, whatever Karen tells you is true. What she may not tell you is that she is absolutely fantastic at doing absolutely everything she does. If I had my way, I wouldn't be writing this note at all, but I can't seem to talk her into moving to New York. Signed, Jerry Della Femina. And we are forever grateful that he couldn't talk her into New York. Ladies and gentlemen, Karen Love.
Yes, Sherry, I'm fixing the mic so everybody can hear me correctly. Thank you. Thank you to the Pittsburgh Ad Federation for this award. But in reality, it belongs to a dream team, a group of remarkable individuals whose will and determination created the successful Ad Federation. But before I get to my dream teammates, there's one person that I really need to single out. My husband, Raymond. For over 14 years, he put up with my 12 to 16-hour work days, my absence due to meetings, events, regional traveling, all while caring for my mother, who still lives with us. So to my husband, a profound thank you for all your years of support and patience. Aishiteimasu. As Pittsburgh AdFed's first executive director, my job was simple: make our organization shine, respected, and protected at all costs. And while I'm honored with this award, the true honor was to be amongst the finest and most admired talent in our industry. Luckily for me, presidents of the AdFed read like the who's who in advertising. Hired by marketing icon Michael Brunner, who's being honored tonight, and who sold me on the idea that it was a part-time job. Yeah, right, Michael. Nurtured by the renowned creative director Ann McFadden, awed by Brian Bernard's creative magic promoting us, reaped the rewards of mover and shaker Adam Gollan. And as always, counted on David Case for PMI's AV support for more years than I'm sure he'd like to remember. And still there are countless others that I apologize for not mentioning. But my secret of looking good at the job? Surround yourself with truly savvy and amazingly talented professionals who just happen to be your closest and most treasured friends. Now, I can say this without hesitation, that we wouldn't be here tonight celebrating anything were it not for these three Ad Federation champions who wholeheartedly and tirelessly gave of themselves. They were the pillars that we based our foundation upon. First, Sherry Gemiter, one of 9 AdFed presidents I was honored to work for. I really don't know of anyone who lights up a room more than Sherry. Always full of ideas, limitless energy, uplifting, cheerful, optimistic, and so unbelievably well networked. Keep in mind, it was during her presidency that the AdFed Scholarship Fund was established. Then there's Meade Johnson, another AdFed president who is so remarkably smart and quick-witted. Her use of the English language turns words into panoramic images. She dazzles audiences and makes their heads spin, and is the smartest person I know. And finally, Karen Smith. I call her my Calabash sister. Her wisdom was crucial in the structure of the Addies, not just locally, but regionally and nationally as well. And whose complete honesty, true loyalty, and sincere compassion for others kept us all grounded. Now, how could I fail at my job when these 3 remarkable women had my back? They made me want to work for and with them every day. So thank you to the Ad Federation for making our paths cross. I cherish their friendship and must share this honor with them. In closing, I'd like to thank Maureen Rooney, president of Pittsburgh's Ad Federation, and her board, along with Gordon Robertson, chair of the Hall of Fame committee, and his committee members. You see, I really do know how the time and effort it takes all of you, so thank you. And finally, let us not forget Evie DeSarno, your executive director, whom I've known for years and love dearly. Trust me, she's the key at keeping this machine well-oiled and running smoothly. So thank you to the Pittsburgh Ad Federation for the Silver Medal Award, and I humbly accept this on behalf of the team. But most importantly, thank you for the true gift, my lifelong friends. Mahalo nui loa. Oh, one final note. If you're not an AdFed member, you should join now.
The AAF Hall of Achievement was established to recognize the individuals still in the prime of their career who continue to make significant impacts in the advertising community. Nominees are evaluated based on outstanding career achievements with measurable results in the field of advertising, publishing, marketing, sales, or media. Moreover, these individuals are recognized because they consistently demonstrate qualities that motivate others in the industry to excel through their mentoring, their leadership, their passion, and their volunteering. Tonight, we honor two new inductees into the Hall of Achievement. First, Tia Kalis, Assistant Vice President and Creative Director at Garrison Hughes. Let's take a look at her highlight reel to date.
I am a very stylish girl.
How do I look?
Very good.
How do I look? How do I look?
Very good. I must say I'm amazed.
I am a very stylish girl. A very stylish girl.
How do I look? How do I look?
Wait, this ad is starting to grow on me.
I am a very stylish girl.
How do I look? How do I look? How do I look?
Very good. I must say I'm amazed.
I am a very stylish girl.
So why don't you plan on blowing out your knee in September, and then I'll have my asthma flare up before the holidays.
A very
Sounds
stylish girl.
good.
A very stylish girl.
To introduce Tia for induction, please welcome Garrison Hughes Chief Creative Officer, Mike Junta.
Thank you, Jeff. Just wanted to quickly congratulate everyone who's being honored here tonight. I mean, look at this lineup. This is like the titans of our industry here. What a class. I want to especially call out my friends from UPMC. Karen Love, you got me in the ad fed 20 years ago when I made eye contact with you as well. I'm still trying to follow your example of service that you've set. And Michael Bruner. Bruner was my first agency that I joined in Pittsburgh. Mike, when I left your agency 20 years ago, I said, you know, I'd always be a friend of the agency and a friend of you, and I'm glad to say that's still the case. And I'm also glad to say that me leaving didn't sink the agency. It seems like you did okay without me, so that's good. So I'm so happy to be here tonight because I'm a big fan of people getting what they deserve, and Tia definitely deserves this. When I told her I wanted to nominate her, her first reaction was, you know, I'm not sure, I don't think anyone knows me, I don't have a high profile. And I'm like, yeah, that's the point. Let's fix that. You deserve to have a higher profile. She's one of the most awarded art directors in the city. She's won Best of Show, Judges Award of Excellence at the Addies, Obie Awards for outdoor work, communication arts. She's elevated the work for the whole city, and she's, I think, represented the creative community outside the market at like national and regional awards. Many of the best ideas that have come out of our agency have come out of her head or out of her computer. And she has one of the hardest jobs in this city, and she should be, you know, recognized for that. She often makes me look good and makes me look smart, which is tough, as my wife would tell you. You know, I had no idea years ago when you walked into our agency what an impact you'd have on both the agency and me and my career, or really how much fun we'd have together. And you know, even when we're crushed with work and we're up late at night working, and I know during COVID we'd be up on Zoom calls together, and we'd hear your baby singing in the monitor as we tried to work together. you always made it fun, and your sense of humor is what, sustained us, and everyone in the agency appreciates what you've done. You grew our clients with great work because you were great to work with. You help lead our department, you help lead our agency, you mentor people. We've been through the growth of our company, the growth of our families. We survived COVID, and looking forward to many years working together, as is everyone else in the agency with you. So, obviously we're here to talk about Tia's advertising career, that's why we're here. But with Tia, what makes her special isn't just the advertising, it comes down to something else. It's parenting. And for that, I have to give credit to her parents, Gus and Maria. I wish they could be here tonight. I planned on embarrassing them and having them stand up and embarrassing Tia, but they couldn't be here. But they deserve credit for that. And I know as a parent myself, the thing that keeps me up at night, besides the work, is wondering, did I do it right with my own kids? And I can tell you that obviously her parents did it right with her. Speaking of parents, like many of you, my mother has no idea what I do for a living, but she's a little 90-year-old Italian mom, and she's not big on the career advice, but the one thing she always tells me is surround yourself with good people. And that's exactly how I describe Tia. She's good people. She's a great designer, a great mom, a great mentor, and I believe she's a great addition to the Hall of Achievement. My friend Tia Callis.
I'm going to lower this a little. Thank you. This is so much love for a girl from Baltimore. When I moved here in 2010, it was without expectation. My personal and professional life were calling for a change, but really I could not have guessed what was to come. My first TV spot at Garrison Hughes was for UPMC Senior Communities. And Mike and I had gone around to the various locations across the city, which was great for me to get to learn my way around town. And we interviewed the residents of the communities. They all had these amazing stories, and they were so much fun to talk to. I still remember them all to this day. I will never forget them. And in the interviews, we quickly found that, above all, more than the amenities, the activities, the food, which was pretty good, the one thing that they all had in common that they loved the most was the people. So we decided to make that the foundation for the spot and recorded everybody saying, "It's the people, it's the people." It was really catchy, and by the end of the day, even the crew was saying, "It's the people, it's the people." And for me, in my own life, it has always been about the people. Growing up, my parents were always really supportive of my creative ideas, and they would help me with whatever crazy projects I would come up with in my head as a young child. And my husband, Ted, has been that person who has encouraged me to push the boundaries of what I thought possible for myself in my life. And fatefully, in 2010, he found a directory of Pittsburgh agencies, and he encouraged me to research each and every one to see where I might be a good fit. That action led me to where I am today at Garrison Hughes in this wonderful city. Fast forward 12 years later at the agency, and we have a team full of genuinely great people and personalities who also happen to be creative. That combination is dynamite, and it truly makes me so excited for what is yet to come. I especially want to thank Mike for being a tremendous friend and teacher and some sort of hybrid of a favorite uncle and a work husband. And I also want to thank Debbie Regan. Debbie, you have been my co-pilot and my partner in crime for so many years. Debbie and Mike, your steadiness and your genuine love for our success is truly something that I will never take for granted. I also want to thank our faithful clients whose partnerships and longevity is so special. My friends at UPMC, I couldn't be happier and more humbled to be sharing this night with you. I'd also like to thank the AdFed for an honor to last a lifetime and for choosing to honor me tonight. And lastly, as we all know too well, life is a circle. And since I began talking about seniors, I will end talking about the littlest people in my life, My 4-year-old daughter Maria and my 5-month-old son Theodore are my greatest creations, and they inspire me every day. Recently, I asked Maria if she knew what I did for a living. She said no. But that's okay. I know that one day she will understand, and I also hope that she finds a way to make a living out of her passion as well. Thank you so much.
Mike, I can help balance you out because he said his mother doesn't know what he does for a living. There are many days I wish my mother didn't know what I do for a living. Jeff, why'd you wear that tie on TV? Up next, second Hall of Achievement inductee for 2022, Trish Parkhill. She's the president and CEO of Market Space Agency. I personally do not know Trish in her professional environment. Obviously, she's wonderful at what she does. I know her personally as a baseball mom, a hockey mom, a cheerleading mom, somebody that just has an infectious amount of energy and a wonderful personality as well. Recently, I did find out, though, in addition to those things, it's probably past Trish bedtime because she's usually up at 4 a.m. getting ready to exercise. And I found out yesterday that Trish is a big lover of cats as well. So that's a little personal about Trish Parkhill. Let's take a look at what makes Trish Trish and why she's here tonight.
Pressure from Double Mint Gum, a double great feeling, making you realize Double Mint Gum.
Because nothing outlasts the Energizer. They keep going and going.
Stop the bunny, please.
And going and...
You can have it.
Okay.
A Coke and a smile. Good
to complain about.
Here to introduce Trish, once again, please welcome AAF Pittsburgh President and Director of Account Services at Market Space Agency, Maureen Rooney.
That video is giving me all the feels, especially with the young pictures of her kids that I have literally known since birth. Well, hello again, everyone. As I was trying to brainstorm the perfect introduction for Trish, and she's a writer, right? So I ran my first introduction past her for some tweaks, but I didn't have her on this one, so this is all on me. But I was really thinking about Trish's career and realized that with the exception of a very brief 4-month period, Trish and I have actually worked together for my entire career, seeing her Monday through Friday, sometimes on the weekends, an occasional trip to Vegas, for a solid 17 years, and that is a lot of time to spend with someone. But if you know Trish, then you know that those 17 years have come with a lot of laughs, and not just regular laughs, but I'm talking like tears streaming down your cheeks, can't breathe, your face kind of hurts laugh. But Trish's humor is really just the icing on the cake, and Trish loves cake, and just like cake, Trish is made up of several ingredients or components, whatever you want to call it, all of which are the reasons that she's being honored here this evening. And I could go on for hours about Trish, but here are just some of my favorites. Trish is a true leader in every sense of the word. She leads by example with her professionalism, her strategic thinking, and her problem-solving mentality. Trish is a team player. She jumps in, writes copy when needed, participates in a brainstorm. Nothing is beneath her. Trish believes in transparency and honesty. What you see is what you get. She stays true to herself and encourages those around her to do the same. Trish is dedicated to her clients, to her team, and most importantly, to her family. If Trish says she will do something, you can count on her to get it done. Trish is a champion for others. When you need someone in your corner, you can count on Trish. She believes in her employees, and she empowers us to be the best version of ourselves. I've been lucky enough to have her as my champion for the last 17 plus years, so it is my absolute pleasure and honor to introduce Hall of Achievement inductee, my friend, Trish Parkhill.
Thank you. Hi. I'm so excited to be here tonight. I can't even tell you. This is just so awesome. Fun fact, I love to be scared. So our agency a few years ago went through this thing where for 6 months, we literally spent every day scaring the crap out of each other. We would hide under desks, behind doors, outside the bathroom, inside cars. We had a girl who took out all the refrigerator shelves and literally hid inside the fridge. Like, I am telling you, it got intense. I loved it. But my favorite was when I got scared. And the reason is because when someone scares me, I go through all these, this whole array of emotions, right? So they scare me and I'm first paralyzed, frozen with fear. And then I start to come to and I'm like, oh no, did I pee my pants? Nope, good, didn't pee. And I start heart palpitations and my heart beating, and then I inevitably burst into hysterical laughter. And then I am filled with this feeling of happiness and euphoria every time. Same cycle every time. And so when we did this career video, which was one of my favorite things of this to do, and looking back at everything that's got me here, I realized there were so many moments like that, so many scary moments and jumping off points for me that led me here, and it just got me thinking about that. And it was I was the first in my family to go to college. I was right after college, left my comfortable little hometown of Beaver County and moved to New York City with literally nothing but like a really, really bad portfolio. And then I was there and I got a job offer in a broadcast production, which I knew nothing about. Terrifying, took it anyway. And then I came back home and took my dream job at Mark USA as a writer, but literally had zero experience. Just decided I'm just gonna, fly by the seat of my pants and go for it. And then I took a job at a much smaller agency, which was really scary for me because it was a total change in career. I was so comfortable where I was, doing my thing, but I knew that to continue to grow, I needed to do something else. So I took this leap and went with a much smaller agency that promised really big potential. And then I woke up one day to find out that through circumstances out of any of our control, I was suddenly president, CEO, and sole owner of a company with zero business acumen. Terrifying. Probably one of the scariest moments of my life, not just my career. Yet, here I am, standing here with the feeling of total happiness and pure euphoria. And so in being able to receive this achievement and look back on my career, I realized something, the moral of the story for myself, it's, people always tell you, don't be afraid, don't be afraid. I say, be afraid, scare yourself shitless, pee your pants. It's fine. You never know what might come of it. Don't be afraid of something that might be ahead of you because you just never know what great things could come. So I do definitely want to say thank you very, very much to a few people. Number one, my team, the entire MarketSpace team is here today. After a full day's work, on a weeknight, in their fancy clothes, literally love you so much, cannot even imagine working next to anybody else but you guys every single day. My husband, who is also here, who, as the spouse of a business owner, if anybody else here is the spouse of a business owner, he also suffers fear every day. He never knows if we're sinking or swimming, winning or losing. He just trusts me that everything's fine and we're gonna go with the flow and we'll figure it out tomorrow. And thank you so much to the AdFed Pittsburgh. I respect your organization and everybody who's part of it. I have so many people that are part of that organization that have been mentors in my career or that have inspired me in one way or another. So the fact that you even believed and had a hand in me being up here is incredibly humbling. So the last thing I want to say is somebody called me last week to congratulate me and say, oh, that's so awesome, congratulations, I saw you are getting inducted into the Hall of Achievement. But FYI, once you get, an award like this, people are watching all the time, so you better not mess up. And I was like, okay, you know what? I am Trish, great, I got the award. I'm synonymous with MarketSpace, and I'll tell you what, there is so much talent and skill and excitement and passion in that team. If this brings more eyes and more vision to us, I say bring it on. That is something we are not afraid of. So we'll embrace it. Thank you so very much.
Well, thank you, thank you. Congratulations to John, Karen, Tia, and Trish, this year's Patricia Martin Crystal Prism AAF Silver Award and Hall of Achievement inductees. Another round of applause for everyone so far. Now, on to the AAF Pittsburgh Hall of Fame inductees. The list of past honorees is long and quite prestigious. From what I understand, the AAF Pittsburgh Committee received many extremely impressive nominations, and it was a difficult process to narrow it down to these 3 individuals and 1 corporate inductee. This is recognition of a lifetime's work worth of hard work, dedication, talent, achievement, and recognition by peers. Let's kick it off with our 2022 Hall of Fame corporate inductee, UPMC. The list of Pittsburgh-based companies that have become globally respected brands is not a short one. There are brands that have built world-class cities and topped billions of French fries and hamburgers worldwide. But tonight's corporate inductee has made Pittsburgh famous for something even more important: world-class medicine. Please welcome the founder and owner of Untitled Content, Mr. Dax Parisi.
I'll just say, Trisha, I just peed my pants. So they'll see how this ends. My name's Dax Parisi. I'm the founder and executive producer at Untitled Content. I didn't choose to break my femur, have 3 emergency surgeries, spend 32 days in Montefiore Hospital, but I did choose UPMC. And they put me back together. UPMC is a strong brand in Western Pennsylvania. It has been 13 years since UPMC traded in the blue logo for the purple we know today. Over those 13 years, UPMC has been represented on the American Advertising Federation Board. As great partners of the AdFed, they consistently show support through event sponsorships. Employing more than 92,000 people with 40 hospitals and 800 doctor's offices, UPMC gives back $1 billion annually to this community. UPMC's advertising showcase innovation, technology, and humanity. They use actual patients, physicians, and employees in their campaigns to drive the health of today into the hospitals of the future. Because in their minds, there's nothing more important than health. UPMC challenges itself to push the boundaries in healthcare advertising and create work that has never been seen before. Life-changing advertising for life-changing medicine. It is my absolute pleasure to introduce Rachel Graham, Lillian Marshall, Dawn Butler to the stage to accept the American Advertising Federation's Hall of Fame induction on behalf of UPMC.
Dax got exactly one of those three names correct. Thank you. Rochelle, Dawn, and myself, we just want to thank everybody here for this honor. We're here to accept this great award on behalf of UPMC, the UPMC Health Plan, the Health Services Division, UPMC International, and UPMC Enterprises. We are very proud to be part of this community, and we want to thank you all, thank the AdFed, and we will not keep this going. This is it. Thank you. You have anything to say? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you to Dax.
Now to the three individual Hall of Fame inductees. The first honoree is the definition of beauty, glamour, grace, and business savvy. Deb Doherty is not only one of the brightest stars in the Pittsburgh advertising community, but she's also personally responsible for giving thousands of others an opportunity to let their stars shine as well. Let's play a brief video with Deb's career highlights.
Debbie Doherty at work, take two. No, wait, excuse me. You tell him that if he wants that model, he's gonna have to pay $250 for the billboard for 1 year usage. Okay, what are you doing? Debbie Doherty, use the swear words. Take three.
Joyful. Vivacious.
Fiery. Kind of a take no prisoners kind of person.
Deb is my mentor. Everything I have professionally is because of her. In 1987 was like, I want to open a business.
There wasn't a modeling agency. It was a hard thing to do.
And the bank was like, you're a woman. We won't give you a loan.
That's a testament to her that she figured it out.
She opened Doherty on a credit card.
Surprising that one would choose to go into that industry, but it's also really addictive. An adrenaline rush constantly. She's literally done everything. She was this extraordinary, supermodel in Pittsburgh starting back in the 70s. She had a prop business. She was a producer. She was a clothing stylist. She was a makeup artist. She was a casting director. She was probably craft services and anything else you can think of. That's who she is.
I think I'm probably the only one that used her as an assistant director, which a lot of people don't know that she did that. She had a rapport with talent that was great because she sort of knew them personally. She's helped a lot of people, especially a lot of young actors and actresses that thought about the business and thought maybe I could do that.
She always understood that she had to find the best person, make the
producing client happy, solve their problem, take care of what they needed, and still be able to balance the talent end and make the talent happy and feel taken care of. And she mastered it beautifully.
She's probably the hardest working person in that talent-related industry.
She took a nascent company and created a very influential agency that affected many, many lives. And she has multi-generational situations of having bettered people's careers, gotten them going, given them outlets they might not have otherwise had.
This way!
Wheelchair race is really fun.
She's a part of a generation of Pittsburgh people who just built the industry and have set the infrastructure for what it is now. There's a reason Netflix is here. There's a reason Amazon is here. It's because of this infrastructure that was laid by these folks. I mean, I always would joke with her if it was really stressful. And I would have to be doing something on a deadline or whatever, and I'd always turn to her and say, thank you for the opportunity. And I think those words still stand. Thank you for the opportunity to work with you all these years and learn so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Deb.
Thank you, Deb.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Dad.
Thank you, Deb, for everything. We all love you.
Thank you, Deb.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Deb, for believing in me and changing my life forever. I cannot thank you enough, and I love you so much.
I love you, and I love Dougherty forever, ever, forever, ever. Yep.
Thanks, Deb, for making us all feel as fabulous as you.
You helped me get work at Comedy Central, into Fox, Warner Brothers, a lot of things you've done for me, including helping me get 2 films into Sundance. Thank you and congratulations on this induction. So well deserved.
You know what's for me? I love it. I'm a great boss.
Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
The Pittsburgh Advertising Hall of Fame is proud to welcome Deb Dougherty as an inductee. To introduce Deb, please welcome to the stage her brother Michael, who will be speaking directly in front of the stage. Michael.
You think she has it tough. How do you think I feel following that video? Let me say, first of all, thank you to Molly and Nikki Miller for that video and for our team for helping to put that together. It's my honor to be part of honoring Deb tonight. Truth, I Googled, how do you give an emotional speech without crying? And no luck at all. So I consulted my brother, who's an accomplished Toastmaster, and I followed his advice. I watched that video over 50 times while sticking myself with a pin. So wish me luck. Deb's my little sister, but she's my hero. She's an inspiration to a lot of people, certainly me, to her son. I've got 2 daughters. She is a role model to my daughters, and I'm so proud of what she's done for them. And really a role model in being a strong, independent, stubborn, funny woman. And I'm really glad that they had time to spend together. Deb's navigated this disease with grace and humor like I never could have. She's done it without losing her focus on who she is and keeping the focus on others. I mean, I could tell you lots of stories. I'll tell you just a few. You know, just in the past year, I've had the good fortune to get involved in the business. I can't tell you how many times I get accosted by models and talent and client to tell me what she did for them, how she either gave them tough love or believed in them before anyone else did. She's always there for others. And she also has this other part to her, which is, you know, I've mentioned the sense of humor. She's always had this sense of humor, but she really values in people kind of a willingness to take risks, to kind of put yourself out there, and to be creative. And you know, our team's nodding their heads because they've seen that a lot. I'll tell you another quick little story. Deb invented this game a few years ago and tried it on a few of us, and it was called, hey, it's National Silly Sounds Day. And it was really, you didn't know it, but it was a test. She'd come up to you and say, hey, it's National Silly Sounds Day, quick, what's your sound? And if you came back with something like, or whoop, any sound at all, that's fine. But if you hesitated, that was a sign you weren't willing to sort of put yourself out there. But you know, I bring it up because she really did value that in all of her talent. And you know, it's just one of the things that she's done to support other people as well. My brother John and I both have had the opportunity to get involved in the business in the last year, and it's been, frankly, a lot of fun and a great honor and opportunity. You know, it's been fun for me personally to watch this team in action. You know, credit to Deb for building a business that's institutionalized this, and credit to the team for not just supporting her legacy, but kind of going to the next chapter. So thanks to all of you. There it is. So let me just finish with this, which is we're going to offer this award to her down here. Because Deb has trouble speaking, it's going to be a recorded voice, but we'll do the award down here. And with that, please join me in honoring and thanking Deb Doherty for all she's done.
Thank you for this incredible honor, and thanks to Bill Garrison for the nomination. I'm here because people like Bill supported me in my career. So it's been rewarding for me to support others making their way in this industry. New talent, new agents, new partners. Like many of you, I'm a competitive person, but the sense of community that we also enjoy is something we need to cherish and nurture. When I was young, I started college, but dropped out to find a different adventure. I never would have predicted the path that my life and career would take, but I wouldn't change a thing. This synthesized voice can't convey my true emotions. In fact, I thought about using one of those celebrity voices. No matter what voice I use, please know how happy I am to be here with everyone. Thank you to the entire Doherty team joining me here tonight. I am very grateful that my incredible family and friends can also share in this evening, along with many colleagues who I've worked with during this exciting journey. So to all of you, let me say once more, thank you from the bottom of my heart.
For all of you in the agency business, the next time you're asked the question, so does advertising work? You can answer that with 2 words. Edgar Snyder. I think it's safe to say he has the highest brand name recall in the market. But tonight we're here to honor the brand. We're not here to honor the brand, we're here to honor the man. Let's take a look at a few of the many highlights of Edgar's advertising life.
When I started doing ads, people said, "You're so Pittsburgh."
There's only one way to really get our message out to the people and really build our practice, and that was to go on television.
The final curtain, my friend.
There's no
I'll
fee
say
unless
it
we get money
clear.
for you.
I'll state my case, of which I'm certain. I've lived a life that's full. I traveled each and every highway and more, much more
Unless we
than
get money
this.
for you.
I did it my
Call
way.
Attorney Edgar Snyder.
For what is a man? What has he got?
Three-quarter twist, Jason.
If not himself,
There's never a
then
fee
he
unless
has
we
not
get money for
to
you.
say the things he truly feels, and not the words of one who kneels. The record shows I took the blows and did it my
I've had a few, but then again, to give to mention, I did what I had to do. I saw it through with nothing new, yeah. I planned it and cut, it careful through along the hard work.
You think you're tough? Wait till you see tough.
More than did. And did it
Yes, it was my way.
To announce our next Hall of Fame inductee is managing partner of Edgar Snyder and Associates, Michael Rosenwig.
Good evening. First, want to congratulate all the other winners and inductees and award winners tonight. Really moving speeches, and Edgar is in a really great company tonight. My name's Michael Rosenzweig, and that's all right. That's all right. No problem. It's my honor to be here and announce and introduce Edgar here. He has been my mentor and my friend for over 35 years. And to pick up on a theme here with everybody and their work husbands, I would say he's been my work father for 35 years, and I really mean that from the bottom of my heart. and we're thrilled to have him inducted into the AdFed Hall of Fame. I think that the criteria for induction into a Hall of Fame has three main qualities, or any of them can justify it. One is that you're a visionary. Another would be that you then go on to have tremendous success, build a business, and then lastly, that you leave a tremendous legacy. And I think Edgar has all three of these. He was a pioneer, trailblazer when legal advertising became legal, no longer illegal. Edgar blazed right in there. First on the newspaper, and you saw one of those newspaper ads, then on the television. Soon we went on to radio, and we were one of the first law firms to have a robust website. Little did we know that that would be the foundation as we go forward of a thriving business. Edgar went where no man or woman had truly gone before. He was somewhat shunned by the legal community, and he went into this advertising and legitimized locally legal services for people who were injured by somebody else. He educated the public on contingency fees, as we've seen earlier, and now everybody knows with his iconic catchphrase, "No fee unless we get money for you," made that an approachable concept for everybody. That phrase and Edgar's point is as much part of the lexicon of Pittsburgh as Heinz ketchup, Isley's chipped ham, and I would say Iron City beer. I think that Edgar's has a tremendous history of success and executing. The phone was ringing from the advertising, but when someone answered that phone, they got a first-rate product. And the legal services that were and still are provided by our firm, due to Edgar's leadership, were always the best. He created a legal juggernaut, I would say. We went from 2 lawyers to 35 lawyers, is what we have now, and we have 92,000 employees. No, wait, that's UPMC. But we have 150 employees, and we have offices around the state, and we're now in Harrisburg, and we continue to grow. Edgar always inspired that we must have the top legal talent, and we should always get top employees, including paying top salary and benefits. He stressed that we should have the best systems, and always our clients came first. That was what he always preached. They say the contingency fee is the poor man's ticket to the courthouse, and now Edgar made it approachable for everybody to have that ticket. Lastly, I think Edgar has a long lasting legacy, and we've all been witness to Edgar's ascension as an icon in Western Pennsylvania. This is true story. This is like 3 days ago. I'm at the Giant Eagle, Market District Giant Eagle, and a guy comes up to me, "How's Edgar? Is he doing okay?" And this guy truly, from the bottom of his heart, wondered how Edgar was doing, and I get that a lot. This is a man who doesn't know Edgar, probably has never seen Edgar, but he has a kinship to him, and Edgar has endeared himself to most everybody in Western Pennsylvania, and he's always worn his celebrity with grace and kindness and class. I think Edgar's most lasting legacy, and that is one of the criteria for this award, is his involvement with the community. I'm sure everybody is aware of our firm's partnerships, long partnerships with some of the most recognizable names in sports and our sports teams. We blazed that trail, and we're often imitated. But Edgar has lent his gravitas and our firm's backing to numerous charities and community causes. Edgar has served in leadership and board positions on numerous local and national charities and organizations. In fact, tomorrow our firm is launching the Edgar Snyder and Associates Charitable Foundation at Acrisure Stadium, and it is to honor Edgar's legacy in the community. So I'm proud to celebrate Edgar's long and continuous vision, success to both advertising, to the legal profession, and to our community. So on behalf of our law firm, my 7 partners who are here, and everyone who knows Edgar, please join me in congratulating his induction into the Pittsburgh Ad Federation Hall of Fame.
And now the end is near, and so I face the final curtain.
Thanks, Mike. I will pay you what you asked me to pay you for saying all those nice things, and I really appreciate it. First of all, wow. Hall of Fame of Advertising. How's that possible? A lawyer. I looked at all the people who've been honored here, Hall of Fame and different people, and there may be a lawyer in there, but I didn't see any, or I didn't have anybody. And I said to myself, this is amazing. Only in America could a lawyer be inducted into the Hall of Fame for advertising. But I am so appreciative that it's hard to give a speech talking that loud. Is it back? Are we back on? Okay. Anyway, my life changed in 1979. A Supreme Court said that, as Michael said, it made it legal for lawyers to advertise. A lot of people don't know that. People used to say, well, why couldn't lawyers advertise before? If you did, you were disciplined and you wouldn't be practicing law. Not allowed to advertise. But that whole law changed in 1979, and that was a dramatic change in my life. I had been a criminal trial lawyer for 17 years, and I must acknowledge my ex-wife, Sandy. This was her vision. Her vision was to make Edgar a brand. And I used to laugh and say, Edgar, a brand. It worked. We became a brand. I just give you a little bit of background for people here that might be young and not know how this all started. To learn the power of your profession of advertising, in 1983, I put a tombstone ad this big in the Pittsburgh Press. All it said was, know your rights if you're arrested for DUI. The law had changed for drunk driving in the state of Pennsylvania in 1983. It used to be that if you got in trouble and you didn't kill anybody, honestly, these cases were, they were done at a local level. But the law changed and people could now start to go to jail. And at that particular time, we put this tombstone ad in, and I had no idea whether this would really work or not. But this little ad, in 1 year, we had the largest drunk driving practice in Pennsylvania, and my partner and the first person who ever worked for me is gracing me to sit at the table, Cindy Donnell, and it was just Cindy and I. There was just two of us. And Cindy, I'm sure you remember, we went to Cleveland, Ohio, you and I, to a seminar to wonder and learn what is involved in defending somebody in a drunk driving case. And we learned how to attack the breathalyzers. The one thing I learned with the power of advertising was I did not want to be a drunk driving lawyer for the rest of my life. So we made a decision at that time to go in the newspaper for automobile accidents. And over the next 2 years, we went in 27 newspapers in Western Pennsylvania with the ads. And the ads were very, very simple. Know what your rights are if you're involved in an automobile accident. This led to a business decision that brought in a tremendous amount of business that we had never had before. And we made the decision in 1986, let's go on television, let's go where the big boys are. And we went on television in Johnstown, Pennsylvania, and if you saw that collage there of ads, my first ad in Johnstown, Pennsylvania was, if you're involved in an accident, please bring your business to us. I looked myself and I said, that is an embarrassment. I am a fool. The phone started ringing and they never stopped. And what I learned about your profession, I'd like to call it now my profession, but it really is, advertising is your profession. I learned about the power, and I also learned that what you have to be able to determine in this business is not necessarily what you think people want in the terms of advertising. And what's happened in the profession when this first started, there was a whole society, a whole part of society that did not have access to legal services. Now you'd say, what do you mean they didn't have access? Lawyers have been around forever. But if you were poor or you didn't have any money, you thought that to hire a lawyer, you had to have money and people wouldn't call lawyers. And what we found out, the most important words at that period of time, and I think they're still important, but they were really important. The word free, F-R-E-E, free legal advice, free phone call. We didn't have 800 numbers at that particular period of time. Free, if you don't come to us, we'll come to you. We learned at that particular time, by going on television, that this was something that was revolutionary to a whole part of society that all of a sudden felt, wow, it's not going to cost us anything, and they'll come out to see us. What do we have to lose? It's not going to cost. And this changed for us the whole dynamics. We began to learn what advertising was all about, and that really and truly, once it went on television, changed our life. Now, ultimately, and this is an incredible fact, we went on every television station in Western Pennsylvania every single day. When I say all day, I don't mean every ad space, obviously, but all day long on every TV station. And basically, we've been doing that for the last 37 years. I think that's a pretty amazing statistic that we learned what you have to do and what you have to be. Thank you. Thank you. Because today it's commonplace. Now, I have to tell you that when we started marketing, the business came in and How many people have had a business in advertising where the problem wasn't to make the phone rings, it was to try to figure out how to do the work? Lawyers had traditionally been in a small business, maybe handling a few cases, not that many cases in a year, and all of a sudden in a week, we would get more cases than we had in 1 year. And what I used to lose sleep over was I said, if I don't figure this out, I'm going to go bankrupt. And some smart business lawyer is going to come in and say, oh, God, Edgar Snyder was so stupid. Didn't he understand? And what I learned was you got to build a business, and you have to be able to do this from the ground up, and you have to be able to offer people something for the price of what they're doing and coming to see you. At that time, in 1990, we were the 5th largest legal advertiser in the United States. And I, along with 3 or 4 other people, formed a trade association with lawyers who advertise, and we formed a group that is still today called Masters Marketing Association, with lawyers from all over the country that were legal advertisers. And we learned from each other, and this is what we started to do. But I felt tonight to take a few more minutes and just tell you what I learned from all of you and what I learned about advertising and what is important. The first lesson that I learned, and the most important lesson in advertising: you can be the greatest ad man in the world, and if you don't have a quality product, your ads are going nowhere. If UPMC didn't have the great institution that they have and do the life-changing medicine, it wouldn't matter how great those ads were from UPMC. We found out that this is really the same thing, and the truth is, without the ability to have a law firm, I would be nothing if I hadn't put together, and the lawyers who came to work for me at that particular time, they made the quality of the product. Without the product having the quality, your great ads won't mean a thing, because there's always going to be another product to come along that can do it better. So what we learned was there's a symbiotic relationship between quality and doing good advertising at that time. And I'm proud to say that the quality was there. 3 of the people that started this and were with me almost the entire way are here. And that is Michael Rosenzweig, who made the presentation. Thank you for the nice words, Michael. Rick Rosenthal, who's sitting at the table, and Cindy Donnell. Those 3 people helped me to prepare the quality that we needed in order to make it go, because without it, the ads would make no difference. That has continued today. You talk about a legacy and things that you have. I am so proud, because the ads that we put on every day and that you see them, the quality is there and they exist today. The partners, young partners, older partners, CFOs, marketing directors, people who do the ads from the marketing department, they're all here tonight for the most part. And I have to say to you, without all of you, none of this takes place. There is no Hall of Fame for Edgar Snyder. So from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate what you have all done and the part that you play, and you continue to play it. I also learned a couple other important lessons, and that was, don't let the critics defeat you. As Michael said, for the first 5 years, I was a pariah, an ambulance chaser, schlockmeister of ads. Who could put that ad on? Who would be crass enough to go into a junkyard as a lawyer and film commercials where you're dropping motorcycles, cars, and vans out of the sky? I remember standing up and saying, if you're hurt in an accident, bring your problem to us. And a car came down on my desk, which we had set up 15 feet ahead. The lawyers said, you're the worst. You shouldn't even be, I mean, you're a disgrace to the profession. The phones never stopped ringing. The public loved it. So what I learned was, don't take criticism from anyone who gives it to you unless it's the people that are buying the product that say that we're going to criticize you. The next thing that I learned was, if you're going to do advertising, you better understand your product. It's pretty nice if I'm the brand, but what we learned, my ex-wife and I, we wrote over 2,000 ads that we have had on television. We wrote them all. We knew what the product was. We understood it. And I think you'll all agree in advertising, you have to understand the product. You can't just do something clever. You really have to understand what's behind it. The other lesson that I learned, which is so important, if your friends and family like your ads, it's time to change them. Sounds funny, but in our business, everybody was looking for that which made them all feel good, and we understood after a while what it was that really enabled us, and it wasn't the things that necessarily make your family and your friends feel good. It was the things that the clients really want to hear, the messages that come out. So I think that that is really important. I also think Michael touched upon it, and it's always been a hallmark for our advertising in our law firm. If you're lucky enough and fortunate enough to be successful, we have an obligation to give back to our communities. And I tried to instill that from the beginning. From the very beginning, we had everybody that worked there did charitable work. They went in their communities, they worked in charities. As time continued, what we found out in our business, if you take charitable institutions, you can give them something that almost none of them can do themselves. You can give them some television time. There's very few charities that have the amount of money to be able to get television time where you put commercials on for them, whether it's Cam Hayward and the Hayward House, whether it's any of the other ones for the food bank or the different things. We were able to give that. That's what we do. We also volunteer. I've done it. Almost everybody that works in the law firm feels the same way. So that the last thing that I will say on that issue is, I learned a long time ago, you got to be yourself. And when you say there's no fee unless we get money for you, and a couple people said tonight, won't you say it? And I said, yes, there's no fee unless you get money for you. But that was me. That wasn't some clever ad stunt or something of that. I'm a Pittsburgher. I talk like a Pittsburgher. I think like a Pittsburgher. I act like a Pittsburgher. We do work in Western Pennsylvania, which is primarily the same. And I think everybody has to be themselves. This has been a fabulous evening for me. I am so appreciative. You have a really great profession. I have been honored to be able to learn something about what you have done and to be able to put it into my own business at that particular time. So I think you all can be proud to be in advertising. It has certainly been something that has changed my life, changed the life of so many different people in my law firm. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you to the Federation of Pittsburgh, the American Advertising Federation, for choosing me to be in the Hall of Fame. I cherish it. Thanks again.
I'm sure you knew when I bit off more than I could chew. But through it all, when there was doubt, I ate it up and spit it out. I faced it all and I stood tall and did it my
Edgar, you might have heard this one before. What do lawyers wear to work? Lawsuits. How to get one more in? All right. Our final Hall of Fame inductee this evening is Michael Bruner, who has built one of the largest, most well-respected agencies in Pittsburgh. To say he has a marquee name in this town, well, let's not say it, let's show it.
Bruner really challenged.
First call that I've made. Got to know our business. Our ability to deliver. Fantastic partner. Visionary.
An extension of our own marketing team.
Your leadership and
Your passion and vision for
and cherished as a friend.
Thanks for all you've done for me, for your friendship.
Congratulations, Michael.
To introduce Michael, please welcome to the stage his longtime colleague and president of Bruner, Scott Morgan.
Wow, that was quite the video. I don't know if there's much more I need to say, but I'm going to anyway. First, I'd like to congratulate our client Edgar, and also Karen and Deb and John, Tia, Trish, and UPMC. So congratulations, folks. So there's no way to summarize in less than a couple of minutes the impact Michael has had on our industry. But the video did a pretty damn good job of that, I thought. And kudos to Gordon Robertson for leading that creative charge. Gordon, thank you for everything you've done. But let's just pretend Michael's professional life were depicted as an ESPN 40 for 40 documentary. You know, he was actually in the business more than 40 years, but stick with me here. The program description might read something like a native Pittsburgher, high school athlete, and Motown wannabe singer. You can ask him to share those details later. From the scrappy north side of the city, pursues a teaching career, then discovers, as honorable as it were, doesn't feed his passion for marketing and his entrepreneurial drive. So he switches gears, He jumps into the advertising business, quickly becomes a killer bee, and he goes on to build a company that started so far off the ad industry radar that just getting onto the local list of top 25 agencies was a dream, was a really big dream, for about 5 minutes. Because in relatively short order, the agency cracked the top 25, then went on a rapid, maybe even rabid growth trajectory that eventually got us into the top 10, then the top 5, then the top 3, and well, let's just say on the radar in a really big way. When I started with the agency, Ketchum was the place to be. And so much talent came through those doors and then started their own shops. Or they started coming to Brunner. Or Brunner came to them when we acquired what had originally been Ketchum's creative and media talent, known at that time as Egan St. James. So buy or build became the key growth strategy along with winning new business. Though I think the real secret to our success has been and continues to be our wonderfully inclusive culture that sustains us today. Thanks to Michael. You saw the numerous client brands in the video, but the brand that Michael made the most impact on was the one that carries his name. Brunner has become a nationally respected brand within our industry and a beacon for talent across all spectrums of marketing. And remember, too, Michael's commitment to giving back to the industry. He did, after all, bring love to the ad fed in a really big way, Karen, right? Michael, you've been a beacon, just like our big, beautiful sign, for so many, including me. Welcome, my friend, to the Ad Fed Hall of Fame.
I got a feeling that tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna...
Well, Scott, thank you. You read that just as I wrote it. Just kidding. All right, I also realize that I am the last person standing between you and the bar. So I'll do my best. First, I want to say thank you to the AAF for all the years, but particularly for the last 2 years. What you've been able to do, you are the glue that has held this industry together, particularly in this market. There has been nothing but tough times for us over the last 2.5 years. You almost wouldn't notice it. So my hat is off to the AAF. And Karen Love, if I ever met a person more deserving than you, I don't think I would know what to say to them. Awesome. I'd also like to say congratulations to everyone that's been up here tonight. Truly deserved, great things, great accomplishments. This is a hard road. So if you came up here tonight, you obviously worked it pretty well. And Edgar, my hat is off to you. Not only have you been supportive of our industry, and you said it very well, you changed your industry. So I salute you. So obviously, I'm truly honored to be included. I'm truly honored to be here tonight. I stepped out of the business last year after 41 years, and now I have 4 minutes to wrap up 41 years. I'll do my best, guys. I really will. And through that period of time, over 1,000 people have walked through our doors, something I'm very proud of. But before I go any further, I really have to talk about 2 people. And those 2 people have not just had an impact on me, they've had an impact on anyone that's ever been in this business. In fact, I will get goosebumps, and if you knew them, you will too, as soon as I mention the names Ann McFadden and Dave Passat. Now, I realize many of you may not be familiar with those names. I would encourage you to ask someone that knew them, because their style, their grace, their talent is absolutely unmatched. It is and was a complete honor to not just work with them, just to be around them. Both immensely talented creatives, both so different in so many ways. Dave, with his wild, wry sense of humor, he could pull you on a string and he'd have you, and then all of a sudden he'd start laughing. Oh, Dave, come on, man. And Anne McFadden, with that wonderful Australian charm, would drop pearls of wisdom like that, and you'd walk away and think, she was telling me something. And she always was. Two very special people. In fact, Dave Vissot's daughter is here tonight. I can't see what table, but I would like to offer up a round of applause for you and for your amazing father. And just one last point on each of those remarkable people. You saw the killer advertising from the Killer Bees, and that's when the name was Blattner Bruner. I give Ann total credit for writing that line, and I give Dave total credit for bringing it to life in a compelling execution. It was a special time, two special people. So, a little bit about the background. I got into this business because I had a real appreciation for the creative process and everything around it. I was truly enchanted. The business has changed a lot over my years, certainly. It's become more complicated. But it still comes down to really one thing, telling a cohesive story across the entire consumer journey. So what I want to do for the remaining few minutes that I have want to talk a little bit about some people that have had an amazing impact on my journey. And really, it's credit to all of them and so many that I can't mention tonight that have me standing up here tonight. So first of all, before I get to the business side, I'll start with my wife, Marita. Thank you. You know, you work in this business, you put so many hours in, you miss so many things, you miss events, you miss conversations, you miss a lot. You know, I did. I clearly did. So thank you for your support and your belief, because back then, the industry, or the agency was really, we wouldn't have made the top 200 on the Pittsburgh Business Times. So thank you. I also want to thank Joe Blattner. Joe hired me. And I used to joke, we were 6 people, and 4 of them were related. It was a different time. We were a print brokerage that wanted to be an ad agency. And it was a journey for sure, but it was a good one. And so, Joe, thank you. Another name that I have to mention, and only a handful of people here will know this name, John DeCou was our first account services director. John had the experience, he had the age, the seniority. We were all too young, needed that senior face and that wisdom that John always delivered. He is no longer with us. We made a decision early on, and we talked about it a lot. For such a small agency, the idea of making an acquisition wasn't really something that the accountant suggested that we do. But we did. We acquired a group called High Technology Associates, HTA for short. And their business was database marketing. Back in a time when I had friends and colleagues in the industry say to me, Michael, what the hell are you doing? And sometimes that did make me pause, but I'll tell you what, after the decision, never did. Lou Masanti, who is here tonight, was one of the principals, as was Arnie Bagler, and another gentleman, Joe Chioda, came over. But Lou and Arnie were the principals. Lou, you were all business. You were a consultant. You walked into this industry and said, my God, am I in the right place? Arnie, there was never a moment that was too big for you. You were the counterweight to Lou. That amazing sense of humor, but that strategic mind that you have. There has never been an obstacle that you did not kick out of your way, never. I have so much respect for your talents, but even more respect for you as a man. Katie McNell, sitting right there. First intern I ever hired. I didn't know you had to pay them, so I didn't. Probably shouldn't say that, should I? But Katie, look at you now. Amazing career, you've accomplished so much. Another hire that's instrumental, another person that's sitting here tonight, Meade Johnson. We started to get retail accounts. Retail's tough. Everything about it's tough. I remember taking copy into what was the copy chief at Horns, a name that you may remember or may not. She looked at it, she read it, she crumpled it up, and she threw it back to me. I thought, wow, I didn't think you could do that in business. But Meade came along and offered something that we really didn't have. She had not only the pro experience of account services, but she had a demeanor about her that just made clients listen. Meade, you were tough. I appreciate that. Another individual back when print was a big thing, Edgar, you mentioned it, print production was a big part. We had a guy named Ray Schmidt, and Ray wore 15 hats, man. I'll tell you, there were pickups and deliveries every day because print was such a big thing. Ray's not here tonight, but I salute him. Another person that is here tonight, and my hat is off to her in every possible way, is Karen Smith. Karen, you're a remarkable woman. You handle the pressure with the coolness and calmness that I haven't seen. Broadcast production was your thing, and boy, you made it happen. This place could be on fire tonight, and Karen would line us up in twos and say, all right, now just calm down and walk out gently and quietly. Jeff Nober's not here tonight, who headed up our PR efforts, but here's a little factoid. His daughter now works for us, or works for the agency, something that I think is pretty special. Hired a creative director from New York, Rodney Underwood, no longer with us. Dave Egan. Dave, our time was short, but it was good. Jay Geeson, so tall, but so talented. Jackie Murray. Jackie, you're here tonight. Copywriter extraordinaire. You know, Jackie, you always took the challenges and the charges that maybe some of the people didn't want, but you always brought them to life and made them sing. Keith Martin was package design, and Keith did so many brilliant things with package design. So pleased to have him through the years. Another individual, back in the days when we called it traffic, you would never call that now, traffic. That was the person that got things through the house and tried to keep some sense of order, and that was Kim Terassi. And Kim, I can't say enough good things about Kim, but I will tell you one time I was talking to Kim, and I was trying to get the work through, and obviously she's telling me, no, it can't happen, you know, we've got too much going on, et cetera, so the voice of reason. But I would keep persisting. I said, come on, Kim, we got to get this out, et cetera, et cetera. She looked at me right here like this, and she said, Michael, you can't put lipstick on a pig. Okay, I said, I guess that means we're not going to get it through, right? I was a solo partner for a while, and then I took on 3 partners. Scott, who was up here earlier tonight, Mary Kay, and Petra. Petra is here tonight. I was delighted to do that. I was also delighted in the fact that there were 4 of us now, and 2 women and 2 men. Mary Kay was the consummate account services person, so good at building relationships and keeping relationships. Petra, the media star. Petra, to this day, I give you credit because you taught me that the word idea is in media. And you did that, and you brought it to life in everything that you did. So, wrapping up here, but, oh, and Andy McKenna, his sense of humor is never lost on anyone. If you know Andy, also exceptionally talented. So I also want to acknowledge a few people that have left to follow their dream, which I've always encouraged because it's not an easy thing. And there are a number of people that did, and I know I won't get all of the names, but I'll read a few. Ned Show, Jeff Tolley, John Gatesman, Bill Garrison. Bill, you've done an amazing job. not just here in the AAF, but in everything you've done with the agency. Dave Hughes, Dave Sladek, Gordon Robertson. Gordon, same thing. You're just an amazing person. Gordon, you simply make things happen. And also so much talent. And the last one, George Potts, another guy who just will not take no. Can be completely dogged in his approach, and you gotta love it. So I want to also tip my hat to the Atlanta group. That was an agency that we acquired back in 2005. And to the folks that were really the foundation of Atlanta, Frank Compton, his son Brett Compton, two amazing creative folks. In fact, what does this say when Frank, the father of his son Brett, said, Michael, he used to say, Michael, he said, if my son doesn't cut it after 6 months, let him go. Well, that was never the case. Both of them were incredibly talented. In addition to Louis Sawyer, who was our Chief Strategy Officer for so many years and just retired last year, and also to Rich Fabricius, who became the Managing Director of the Atlanta office, but was incredible as an account guy. So I've been talking about the people that came through the doors. Let me take a minute and switch gears, talk about a client and clients. You know, through the years, so many good relationships, so many people, hard to remember. The video jogged my memory of some of those pitches and some of the work that we did. But I want to say thank you to a gentleman who has become more than a client through the years, but a very good friend, and that's Paul Baranek, sitting at that second table back there. Paul, I remember pitching the business. I remember winning the business. I remember everything about the business, but I remember so many good times that we had after the business, and that's what's always been important and special to me. Thank you. So I'll end by crediting and saluting our current agency management team, and then the agency partners. Kristen, sitting right here, amazing. You have nowhere to go but up, and you're pretty high up there already. Thank you. Brad Cook, sitting back there. Brad, also, same thing. This is the next tier. This is the future of the agency. I have absolutely no doubt. I'm so glad to see both of you here tonight. I'd also mention Eric, Patrick, Dan, Chrissy, and Ryan. So now I'll end with the partnership, the new partners of the team. As I said, I stepped out last year. I had the privilege and the pleasure of selling it to the executive team. And that doesn't happen every day. And when you do, you ensure one thing. You ensure that the culture that you and others have built through the years has an opportunity to be carried on and send a wonderful signal to the rest of the organization. So let me just touch on each of those people for a minute. Rick Gardner, sitting right there, been with us for over 20 years. Rick, same thing, when you came into the organization, I know your head was spinning. You had no idea. What did you walk into? As a technology/software consultant, and now you're in an ad agency? I'm surprised you didn't walk out on the third day, but you didn't. And I credit you for a lot of the things that we did that took us into the digital era in a big way. Ken Johns, who couldn't be here tonight, I have nothing but great things to say about Kenny, also a partner. Client experience, started in account service. Actually, Kenny started as an intern. And I worked with Kenny, and I thought, wow, this kid, he's good. He's got an amazing future. So what did I do? I told him he should leave the agency. I said, you should go out. You should work for another firm. I think it'd be good for you. Always wondering if that was the right decision. But he came back, and Kenny is now one of the partners. You know, and by the way, I've always taken it as personal pride when someone leaves your organization and then comes back. They've seen everything bad that you've done as an organization. They've seen all the warts, and yet they still come back. Jeff Maggs, who's the managing director, he's our partner, but managing director of the Atlanta office. For those of you that know Jeff, Jeff could start a fire just by thinking about it. The guy has more passion than I could ever explain to you. And in addition, amazing talents. And that passion is something that every organization needs. You want that. You want that fire. You want that spirit. Because at the end of the day, you can call it whatever you want, but it's a fight. It's a good fight. And you want the people that have that kind of approach with you on your side. We brought two folks in that really changed the direction of the organization. Dan Gabor, Kevin Amos, sitting right there. Two of the foundation key partners, players at Impact, and then Merkle. So fortunate to have you guys come into the organization, and what you have done in this short period of time is absolutely amazing. In terms of performance marketing and in terms of digital media, I can't begin to say enough of the accomplishments in such a short period of time. Dan, you are awesome. When you lock your sights on something, there is nothing that will stop you. And Kevin, I kid you sometimes about being a rows and columns guy, but you're a wizard when it comes to rows and columns, my friend. So awesome to have you as part of the team. Aaron Stoner, partner, CFO. You know, qualities like dependability, reliability, trustworthy, you would think, okay, that's what CFOs are. Well, Aaron, you had all those qualities way before you were the CFO. You are, without a doubt, one of the most selfless people I have ever worked with. You are so much more than numbers. Thank you. And I'll end with Scott. That was the tall dude who came up here and read the beginning. Scott, you've been with the organization for most of your professional career. You've seen so many changes. New services, new people, people come, people go, clients come, clients go. But you were there. You were there the whole time. And you believed in what we were doing, and you believed in me. And I respect that. I'll never forget that, and I appreciate that. So I'll end with something that I learned through the years, and it is so simple, absolutely so simple. And no one ever, or I didn't get it out of a book, it was just something that I learned. And it's very simple, and the fact is, you can get more from people willingly than you can ever compel them to do. All you have to do is let them know you believe in them, then they will pay you back tenfold by believing in you. Thank you, everyone. It's been an honor. It's been great to be in this industry.
Before I let Yins go and Nat, I want to thank our sponsors again for the evening. Diamond sponsors Bruner, Edgar Snyder and Associates. Gold sponsor Garrison Hughes. Silver sponsor 9 Rooftops, Camelot Communications Group, Covalent, R.R. Donnelly, and Walsh Photography. And bronze sponsors Fifth Influence, Lamar, Raft Printing, and Untitled Content. Congratulations to all of the honorees tonight. You can clap one more time, that's fine. Don't forget that the call for entries for the 2022 American Advertising Awards is going to open in November, and there's likely to be awards given out that night to future Hall of Famers. Drive carefully, stay safe, stay healthy. Peace.